Hey there, grade 5. Today we're just going to be doing a bit of volume. So today it's basically similar to yesterday. We're just going to quickly go through things, and I've cut down how much you have to do here because a lot of this is just counting, and I don't want you guys to be just counting stuff. So for just as a reminder, for question 2 on your workbooks on page 133, I want you to be using multiplication as the method for figuring it out. I don't want you to just count them or do the adding. I'd rather you multiply, and again, you don't have to do 2a through f. Okay, perfect. So basically, when we have something like this, a shape like this, and we want to figure out its volume, first we need to know what what we're dealing with in size here. Otherwise, these would just be cubes. We wouldn't know what exactly they are. They would just be cubes. But let's just say someone gave us what one of these distances was, and we know that all the distances are the same. We're going to say that this is 1 meter big. So this is actually a very big box. Mr. B lying down would be kind of like here. So yeah, you can see this is a big box. So how do we figure it out? Well, first, right, we have to just remember what we did yesterday. Yesterday we divided this into right, width, length. We'll just do that over here. We just say that this is 1 meter over here, or here we can do the length down here. Length and height, right? That would be our height. So what we have to figure out to do this is to figure out how much we could do first, just how much is one layer, right? That will show us, that'll start us off, right? Width, and yeah, sorry, a bit of a going all over the place here. So we're saying one of these is 1 meter. So if we have, how big is our width? What is our W equal to? Well, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, right? So W is equal to 3. Our length is equal to what? 1, 2, 3, 4. So length, which in your book they kind of have it like that, length is equal to 4. And then height is the last one. But so we could figure out what one layer is just off of width and length, right? That would actually be in a normal circumstance, basically the area, right? Remember, area is length times width, right? So length times width, we could figure that out, and it'll be equal to 4 times 3, that'll be equal to 12. I'm not putting in the units yet because we don't want to, I don't want to confuse you here. But the way, yeah, and what we can do now is just, if we want to figure out one layer, we could do height equals 1. And then if we said each of these was a meter, right? So this is 1 meter high. We're just doing this bottom section here, just as a reminder, right? So we're saying it's 1 meter high, and it is 3 meters across and 4 meters long. And so what we would get here in the end is not just meters squared, we'd get meters cubed, right? Because there's 3 different m's basically, and yeah, it makes this a cubed, right? Because they're a cube. So it's not the same as a flat surface, and it's not the same as a line, right? A line would be centimeters, this would be centimeters squared, and then a block is going to be centimeters cubed. So this would be for one layer. Now what we want to do is figure out the whole size of it, right? So all we have to change here is how big we say this is. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is actually 5 big. And our equation for the total number of blocks, right, is going to be the length times the width times the height, right? So in this case, where we have 1 meter, we know that the length is 4 meters, the width is 3 meters, and the height is 5 meters. And so this will give us a total of, so 4 times 3, right, is 12. So we have 12, and then it's 12 times 5, right? What's 12 times 5? We should know this one because 5 times 11 is 55. 12 times 5 is 60. So what we end up with is 60 meters cubed. So this is actually quite a large spot. It might even be like the size of a small house or something. Particularly, it's kind of a tall, long house. But anyways, so there we go, right? So this is a small little place, but it's pretty big. You can fit quite a bit in here. Maybe it's a storage container or something. So yeah, there you go. That's how you figure it out. Now we'll just do a second one just to reiterate this point. So say you get a block here, and this time we're just going to say this is 1 centimeter this time. Okay, doesn't matter. Just make sure you look out for it, because some of your questions do have that, and they just show you it's 1 centimeter. And what you need to do, remember, is always figure out, okay, well, I have to figure out the height, I have to figure out the width, and I have to figure out the length. And then I multiply all these together. Now, something just to note is that you can kind of choose which with these things, and these are actually called rectangular prisms. With a rectangular prism, you can kind of mix these up. Don't get too particular about which side is the width and which side is the length. Don't worry too much. I guess length generally I think is a little bit of the longer side, and the width is the how thick that is, and the height is the side that's going up. But yeah, really, it doesn't matter too much as long as you get all the different 3 different ways. But yeah, like this: length, width, and height. Right. So again, what we have to do to figure this out is all we're going to do is total is equal to, and we want to figure out what is our height. Well, our height is 1, 2, 3, 4. So h is equal to 4. W is going to be equal to 1, 2. So 2. And length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So length is 5. So total, remember, is length times width times height. Right, and that'll give us the total number of cubes. We're going to remember that these are all in centimeters. So we have 4 centimeters tall, so 4 centimeters. We are 2 centimeters wide, 2 centimeters, and we are 5 centimeters long, 5 centimeters. And this is all times, times, times. So here we go, 5 times 2 is 10 centimeters, and that's kind of squared, times 4, right, is going to give us 40 centimeters cubed, right? So we put the 3 there, make that a bit clearer. 3. And so the total of this is going to be 40 centimeters cubed, right? And so that is all you need to know. So this is actually the constant way that you can find the volume of any rectangular prism. So if you know the length, the width, and the height, you can find out the volume all the time. And the volume is important to know how much can fit in there. So you'll deal with volume a lot as you get up, and especially as you go to science and physics. Sometimes you'll get problems with which is the best design of can to make and to fit in boxes, what will have the most volume, what will work the best. So these this ends up helping you quite a bit to know this equation with times height. So yeah, for any box, right? For any rectangular box, it's called a rectangular prism. And yeah, you can figure out the volume all the time with that. Oh, and then I accidentally clicked V in there, I guess. Oh, there we go. So this will be the final one. So on page 135, you have some of these. So just go through it again, right? Now we know this. This one's actually given to us. So we just input these. We know that the length is 5 centimeters, the width is 3 centimeters, and the height is 4 centimeters. So we're just multiplying all these together, and that should give us our volume. 5 times 3, or 3 times 4, right, is 12, and then times 5 is 60 again. So I guess I made this one the same as the other one. But yeah, just remember centimeters cubed. So that's all you need to remember. If you can remember, this is the volume equation for figuring out the volume of any rectangular prism. and that is really what you need to focus on and get right, and then you're perfect. So yeah, you can work from questions basically from on 3, the last bit. I'll put them in the pages, but okay, have a good day, guys. Ciao.